put them in the nursing home. Okay? Let me flip this around. Like all this shadow on me. Put them in the nursing home. Okay? Send them to me. I am a licensed nurse. Go ahead and put them in the nursing home. I cannot think of anything more demeaning, soul-crushing, infuriating, frustrating, and inescapable as having to care for someone who emotionally and physically violated you at your most emotional, or vulnerable time, which would be childhood. I cannot imagine driving this person to appointments. I cannot imagine feeding this person. I cannot imagine bathing this person. I cannot imagine keeping them company. I cannot imagine loading the wheelchair in and out of the car for them. I cannot imagine going to the pharmacy for a person like this. I cannot imagine buying them Werther's original caramel candies. I cannot imagine the extra expense of having to hire a nurse so that you can go out to work. Send them to me, put them in the nursing home. Or better yet, wash your hands of it, walk off. They'll be found somewhere wandering the streets, or they'll be found living in their own filth, and they will be deemed incompetent, and the state will take them and they will put them in a nursing home, and they will send them to me. Send them to me. Now, when I say that, again, I'm a licensed nurse. I don't say that to be sinister. I will take care of these people. It is my job to take care of them. It is my job to be kind to them. It is my job to recognize them as human beings and to be objective, even though I'm so far into my healing journey that when I meet a narcissist, I know what I'm dealing with. And I can surmise what they may have been like when they weren't just cute, cuddly old people who you think, oh, look at that sweet old man, look at that sweet old lady. I can extrapolate from the different indications in their life what they must have been like. If you are 70, 80 years old and you have hella kids, okay, and you have hella kids, and I never see anybody visit you, not even during the holidays, not even during Christmas or Thanksgiving, where these people normally will come pick up mom, dad, auntie, grandpa, grandma, whomever it is, and take them out for a nice dinner so they could be with the family. Okay, you don't even see them come during the holidays. They will have a responsible party from the family, typically, unless they have like they're a ward of the state, and then they have a representative that's appointed to them. But generally, these people will have a responsible party from the family, the person who makes the decisions in case, things go left, or just a person we can reach out to about any changes of any kind, because that's something we have to do to inform the family of different things that are going on. Obviously, you will have that one responsible party. And what I've noticed about the responsible parties to narcissistic parents or relatives is they're like, look, leave the message, let me know. If I have any comments or questions, I will call you back and we will discuss this further. But generally, all you got to do is leave the voicemail. I've had people give me instructions like that. Or don't call me unless I don't need to hear that he has a UTI, she has a UTI, and we're doing this intervention to resolve that issue. I don't need to hear all that. You let me know if they're about to die. And I will let you in, and we have, this is what the family wants. And all you need to do is call this mortuary or this funeral home. Everything's been arranged. That's when we need to have a conversation when dad's going to die. That's it. I don't need to hear all the fine points. And when this guy said that to me, I was like, get it. Because what he's saying is he's going to honor his duty to his father. But he does not fuck with his father. He does not like his father. He does not want to be reminded of his existence. He only wants to carry out that singular obligation of making sure that his cold, dead body is delivered to the proper people so that it can be properly prepared for burial so they can be done with this motherfucker forever. That's the point he's making. And I could never look at him and say, "Oh wow, that's a moral one," because I'm a scapegoat. So I'm team adult child who estranged from their parents. But two, that's not my place. And three, I'm probably gonna say the same thing when the time comes, if people can find me, because again, my immediate family, as well as my extended family, unless my sheriff uncle has decided to not follow protocol at his job and look into me for personal reasons, none of my family knows where I am. So it's gonna be hard to get hold on the horn and say, "Hey, blah blah blah." They don't know where the fuck I am. They will not find out where I am. There's no need for them to know. I don't want them to come knock on my door or any of that. I don't want to see him. I don't want to talk to him. You're not going to come to my apartment complex and cause drama. So I don't imagine I'll ever be in this position, but let's just say I were to be in this position. That would be my position. Don't call me unless she's dying, so that I can inform my brother and I can inform whoever else might care about this situation so they could go see her one last time. Notice I said they can go see her one last time, because I won't be seeing her. Okay, but if I had ever decided, you know what, I don't really mess with my mom like that, but I will shepherd her into being properly prepared so that she could leave this earth. I will do that. If that was my position, I would be just like that guy. And here's the thing, people think it's a sad thing. Oh, don't put them in the nursing home. They took care of you when you were a kid. Well, one, I didn't ask to be born. Okay, I did not ask to be born. And also you would have gone to jail. Parents would go to jail if they did not take care of their children. It's called neglect. It's called abuse. So it's mostly self-preservation to take care of your kids, which I'm convinced they only view as fuck trophies. We are fuck trophies. Why am I going to take you home and spend thousands of dollars to convert my home into something accessible? Because for your whole life, instead of eating right and doing the shit you needed to do right, you decided to overindulge and drink. And many of these people are heavily obese, so they got all kinds of chronic issues from the smoking and the drinking and the partying and all that. And acting like there was no tomorrow, and then tomorrow finally came, and so now I gotta go get a ramp installed in my home. I gotta go ahead and fix the staircase because you can't get up the stairs, and we gotta install one of those things that seat that moves you up the stairs. I gotta do all this while when I was a kid you couldn't even listen to me. You couldn't even allow me to have a say. You did not care about my opinion. You did not care about who you brought in the house. You did not care about what you exposed me to. You did not care about my trauma. And even worse, for my case and for many of our cases, when I brought that up to you as an adult, not in a violent way, not in a you better way, I was met with radio silence. So I'll say for me, if anyone were to ever have the impression that I'm going to take care of my mom or take her home or do any of that crap, they got another thing going. Now, my mom did take care of her mother, who allowed random ass, lame ass dudes in her house who decided to SA my mother as a child over and over and over again. In addition to that, she had 9 kids, my grandmother, by multiple men, okay? Living in the hood, doing that stupid shit. Poor as fuck. Guess I better have another baby. Okay? My mom took care of her mother. Now, on some level, I kind of respect the dedication, but on another level, I absolutely disrespect the lack of respect for herself. I can't, I'm telling you, I'm repeating myself. I'm not wiping your ass if you abused me. I'm not turning you in bed every 2 hours if you abused me. You shouldn't do that for your narc parents either, or your narc grandparents, or your auntie, whoever it was. You don't need to do that. Send them to me. I'll make sure they get turned every 2 hours. I'll make sure they get all their labs drawn. I'll make sure they get their inhaler. I'll make sure they get their insulin. I'll make sure that they get their bed bath and their showers and stuff. I'll make sure that if they don't like their dinner, that we can go down and explore a meal alternative. I'll make sure that they get their enrichment period where they get to sit down and listen to Motown and reminisce and all that other shit. I'll make sure they have activities. I'll make sure we get little, 4-leaf clover hats that we can put on their heads for, St. Patrick's Day and shit like that. I'll make sure send them to me. Put these fuckers in a nursing home. Wash your hands of this. Do well by your kids, and you will not suffer the same fate. I am telling you, the proof is in the pudding. There is a woman at my job whose name obviously I won't say, who is just the sweetest woman in the world. She is the sweetest woman in the world, and it's genuine. It is genuine. And you see her daughter, you see her son, you see her grandchildren, you see everyone, and they are all very invested, very concerned, very, very much involved in her care. And then you have people like a lady that I worked at another facility with, okay? This was damn near private duty nursing I was doing. And this woman had 2 kids, okay? One of which was abused by a man that she brought in the house, okay? She claimed to have put the man in jail subsequently after learning what, he did to her daughter. But, she could say that. I don't know if that's true. I haven't looked into her life. I haven't looked up any arrest records regarding this, okay? So that's one daughter, and that one daughter became strung out, went out on the street and was, selling herself for drugs and things like that, and she lost track of her. This daughter, who obviously was out there medicating herself because of the pain of what she brought into the house. And, she would always talk to me like she was the ultimate victim. And I understand sometimes kids get into drugs and that's not on you. But I was like, okay, my spider sense is tingling. You're starting to feel like a narcissist. But of course, I never let my face betray that. I am a professional. Do no harm and all that. And then she shared information about her second daughter, whom she just got back into contact with, because apparently the dude she was messing with, the father of this second daughter, just up and took the girl to Mexico and took off with her. And I'm listening to her. She's an older lady. I'm not going to come at her too hard, but I'm listening to this story and I'm like, and you just let this motherfucker take your kid? Let me tell you something. I don't have kids, but I'm very resolute. If I had, excuse me, if I had a kid and you took my kid, whether I had the resources or not, I would fucking find you. I would find my child. There would be no way on the planet I wouldn't find my child. She basically said it like the guy took her and she let it go. And the more she kept talking to me, she's like, yeah, none of my family really speaks to me. And yeah, none of my family this, my father doesn't speak to me. And blah, blah. And I'm listening to this and I'm like, what's the common denominator here? Now, could she have been the scapegoat? Yeah, but you're telling me you brought fucked up people in the house. You're telling me your kid was taken and you basically were like, oh, well, because I never heard of we submitted, a complaint to the government of Mexico, or I went to the FBI because you took my kid. internationally, or I don't know who you would speak to in that regard, but I would find out if I were a parent. I wouldn't just let that shit ride. Okay? And so the long story short, the girl that was taken to Mexico and she was just like, oh, well, fuck it. That girl came back. That girl actually became a nurse, just like me. And she came back and she was trying to deal with her mom and reconnect with her mom. She came and reconnected with her mom, which is what should have been the opposite of what happened. You're a parent for life. If you're 80 and your kid's 60, you're a parent for life. But she came back, and this woman was very together. She was married. She had a lovely home, a lovely family, lovely children, and looked to have a successful, calm, peaceful, loving life with her family. Okay? And so what my mind imagines is the father that took her to Mexico took one look at this lady and said, you're a shit mother. You've got bullshit people around my child. You already got one child essayed. You ain't gonna get my little girl essayed. And you know what he did? He grabbed his kid and he went back to Mexico and he said, fuck you. And what he went ahead and did is produced a young woman who grew up to be quite successful. So I would say the father probably was the better parent in this scenario. Long story short, after this woman came back and tried to deal with her mother, she subsequently went no contact with her mother. And I was talking to my patient about this, and she was like, I don't know. She just stopped speaking to me. I just don't know what happened. And I just don't know, And, but when I thought about it and I reflected on some of the ways she would speak about this daughter, the one that she let just get taken to Mexico, it was always about, she brought me this. She's going to take me here. She's going to do this for me. She's going to give me money so I can order things through DoorDash. And she's going to do for me, for me, for me, for me, for me, for me. I never heard of her thinking of doing something for her. I never heard of her thinking about ways she could make amends to her for time lost. So I say all this to say, go no contact with these people, number one, and put them in the fucking nursing home and go ahead and turn your back and don't look back. It sounds like the most horrible thing in the world, but that's real talk. We will take care of them. Give some young nurse the opportunity to have a job, okay? Everything in nature is useful. Even a hunk of shit is useful in nature. It can fertilize something, okay? We can utilize these people so that people can have jobs and people can have training, because quite frankly, I'm not sure what else they're good for at this point.